have been exerting export controls on the country. Are those controls going to become even more stringent? For example, China is not able to buy your most advanced machines. Is it possible that those restrictions could extend to the DUV level, which is used for more mainstream products?
Yeah, so if you go back to the root cause, or I would say the prime motivation of export control, it was to prevent China to have access to advanced technology. EUV is not in China. By not having EUV in China, we pretty much stop the ability of China to go beyond the 5, maybe 3 nanometer node.
China beats US sanctions without ASML. Imagine a world where the semiconductor throne isn't occupied by the expected rulers. What if I told you that China, hammered by relentless American sanctions, just accomplished what experts swore was technologically impossible, producing a 3 nanometer chip without the one machine everyone insisted was essential? This isn't wishful thinking or propaganda. It's happening right now, and it's about to completely rewrite the global tech power balance. Stay with me, because you won't believe the ingenuity behind this breakthrough or what it means for the future of global technology dominance. Before we jump into the details, smash that like button if you're ready to discover the most significant tech upset of 2025. Share this with friends who appreciate technological underdogs defying the odds. And if you're visiting for the first time, hit that subscribe button hard. We're unpacking SMIC's earth-shattering achievement, and believe me, you'll want to witness every moment of this technological revolution. Let's dive in. First, some context. For decades, the United States has ruled the semiconductor landscape, those microscopic chips powering everything from your smartwatch to advanced military systems. But China's been aggressively closing the gap, and Washington was determined to prevent that without pulling punches. Enter the sanctions, a comprehensive technological blockade designed to strangle China's semiconductor ambitions at birth. The centerpiece of this strategy? Blocking access to ASML's extreme ultraviolet lithography machines, EUV for short. These are the absolute pinnacle of precision manufacturing, capable of etching circuits so infinitesimally small they're measured in nanometers. For perspective, 1 nanometer is 1/1000th of a meter, about the width of 10 hydrogen atoms lined up. Mind-blowing, right? The US applied immense diplomatic pressure on the Netherlands, ASML's home country, to completely ban EUV exports to China. The strategic objective was crystal clear: keep companies like SMIC, China's premier chipmaker, technologically trapped in the past, limited to producing 14 nanometer or at best 7 nanometer chips, while Western manufacturers raced forward with 5 nanometer, 3 nanometer, and beyond. It was a brilliant strategy on paper, until it wasn't. Because here's the bombshell. SMIC has just stunned the global tech community by successfully producing a 3 nanometer chip. No EUV, no ASML, just extraordinary determination and technological creativity. How did they pull off this seemingly impossible feat? Let's break down the technical miracle. To fully appreciate this achievement, we need to understand the fundamental technology. Don't worry, I'll keep this accessible. ASML's coveted EUV machines utilize 13.5 nanometer wavelength light to carve extraordinarily precise patterns onto silicon wafers. This revolutionary technology is why companies like TSMC in Taiwan or Samsung in South Korea can produce 3 nanometer chips that pack billions of transistors into an area smaller than your fingernail. Without EUV access, manufacturers are limited to deep ultraviolet lithography, DUV, which uses 193 nanometer light, significantly less precise. It's comparable to trying to create a microscopic masterpiece with a blunt crayon instead of a laser-guided scalpel. But SMIC refused to accept this limitation as destiny. According to multiple industry insiders, SMIC has mastered an extraordinarily complex technique called advanced multiple patterning with their existing DUV equipment. Here's the genius behind their approach. Instead of making a single pass with EUV technology, they run each silicon wafer through multiple rounds of DUV exposure, layering patterns with almost supernatural precision. It's slower, far more complicated, and significantly more expensive, but the results speak for themselves. SMIC has reportedly combined this with an advanced technique called self-aligned quadruple patterning, effectively creating a workaround that achieves what was considered technologically impossible just months ago. Their engineers have essentially hacked the fundamental limitations of lithography physics to reach the promised land of 3-annealer motor fabrication. Let's be transparent here, we don't yet have conclusive evidence they're mass producing these chips at scale. SMIC maintains strict confidentiality around their advancements, and US intelligence officials remain publicly skeptical. But posts on social media platforms and whispers from semiconductor industry veterans, including a March 8, 2025 leak suggesting SMIC has been quietly producing 5 nanometer chips with DUV for months, indicate they're far closer to this milestone than anyone in Western intelligence circles anticipated. If they've truly mastered 3nm production, it represents more than a technological achievement. It's a decisive repudiation of the entire sanctions regime. China isn't merely surviving these restrictions, they're innovating around them at an astonishing pace. So how exactly do you overcome a technological embargo specifically designed to cripple your most strategic industry? SMIC's strategy unfolds in 3 brilliant moves. First, strategic stockpiling. Before the EUV restrictions fully tightened, SMIC and Huawei aggressively acquired every DUV machine ASML could possibly deliver, investments totaling tens of billions of dollars. This gave them the hardware foundation to begin experimenting with alternative approaches. Second, reverse engineering and lateral thinking. There's substantial evidence that China's semiconductor research institutes have been meticulously studying ASML's technology, not to create illegal copycat machines, but to fundamentally understand the physics and engineering principles that could inspire parallel innovations. Third, overwhelming financial commitment. China has injected over $150 billion into its domestic chip industry, with SMIC receiving priority funding. A dedicated $47 billion semiconductor investment fund, established in early 2024, has accelerated the construction of new fabrication facilities. SMIC now operates over a dozen advanced manufacturing plants, with several more under rapid development. The human element cannot be overlooked. China has mobilized a veritable army of semiconductor engineers, many educated at prestigious American and European universities, working around the clock on this national priority. They're not waiting for permission or technology transfers. They're creating indigenous solutions through sheer determination. Contrast this with the situation in the United States, where the much celebrated CHIPS Act promised $52 billion in subsidies, yet actual manufacturing capacity remains years away from meaningful production. China is executing a comprehensive chess strategy, while Western semiconductor policy resembles a reactive game of checkers. The result? A 3nm chip that has Washington policymakers and intelligence officials scrambling to understand the implications. This technological leapfrog wasn't supposed to happen, at least not this decade. Let's zoom out and consider what SMIC's 3nm breakthrough really means for the global technology landscape. If these chips are indeed real, and mounting evidence suggests they're at least in advanced testing, we're witnessing a pivotal shift in the semiconductor balance of power. First, this puts Huawei firmly back in the competitive arena. Their Mate series smartphones already shocked industry analysts by incorporating 7nm chips in 2023, despite intense sanctions. With access to 3nm technology, they could soon release devices with AI capabilities, communication systems, and processing power that rival or exceed anything available from Apple or Samsung. The military and surveillance applications are equally significant, potentially neutralizing a key Western technological advantage. Second, this development sends shockwaves through ASML's business model. The Dutch firm sold approximately $7 billion in DUV equipment to Chinese firms in 2024 alone. But if SMIC has perfected this sophisticated workaround, ASML's presumed technological monopoly becomes significantly less valuable. Sometimes, the most disruptive innovation happens when you're backed into a corner with no alternative. Third, and perhaps most concerning for Washington strategists, the sanctions approach appears to be backfiring spectacularly. Rather than slowing China's semiconductor progress, these restrictions have accelerated their determination to achieve technological independence. Consider the broader ecosystem developments. Xiaomi has reportedly taped out its own 3nm smartphone processor. Yangtze Memory is pushing boundaries in flash memory technology, and Shanghai Microelectronics recently filed patents related to domestic EUV development. The uncomfortable truth? China isn't just catching up, they're positioning to potentially leapfrog Western semiconductor technology within this decade. So what happens next in this high-stakes technological chess match? The US isn't standing still. New export controls targeting over 140 Chinese entities were implemented in December 2024, specifically aimed at Huawei and SMIC's supply chain partners. But enforcement remains challenging. Supply chains are increasingly complex, and semiconductor technology continues flowing through informal channels. This isn't merely about silicon wafers, it's about the future of technological power. Advanced AI systems, quantum computing research, hypersonic weapons platforms all require cutting-edge semiconductors. If China secures independent control of its advanced chip supply, Western technological leverage diminishes dramatically. Have we just witnessed the most significant technological upset of the decade? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. If you found this analysis valuable, hit that like button, share it with your network, and subscribe for more tech insights that go beyond the headlines. What technology stories should we cover next? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.